I freaking love vibe coding, and I feel like there's so much potential out there for businesses to use this type of technology in order to scale and in order to do some really cool stuff. I've been seeing a lot of people use vibe coding for more complex situations or actually building their SaaS application altogether. And I think that for most businesses that is a bit too much. So I wanted to focus more on the things that you can do with vibe coding that 99% of other businesses don't really focus on. So in this video, I'm going to show you 2 example applications that I've built really quickly that you can build for your business too. Then we are going to go into what are the other opportunities for digital businesses in terms of vibe coded apps. And then I'm going to live build something with you so I can show you a bit my process. So let's start with this. This is a first application that I've built, which is kind of like a project estimator for a lead. So imagine you have your website, you're a design studio or whatever type of digital business, right? You are working on a project lead basis and the lead wants to see an estimation for their project. That happens a lot. First of all, it asks us what are we building. Let's say we want a web design UI UX. Then we're going to click next. The project context, we are a, let's say, growing business and we need 5 to 15 pages. Then let's say we are in e-commerce. We want some CMS blog and some complex integrations. And let's say we want to attract more leads, right? And also here you can put a reference link. Let's not do that right now. Now we need it ASAP. So let's generate it and we should get an estimation for our project. Now, mind you, this estimation is kind of like a ballpark estimation because I did not work a lot in the backend for a logic in terms of really accurate estimations, but it's still enough for a lead, right? So it says around 8 to 14 weeks, between $32,000 and $56,000. And here a sprint breakdown. A medium scale project for 15 pages typically requires 5 weeks for core UI UX design, so on and so forth, right? And then you can just book a discovery and here you can embed your own Calendly link. Pretty cool. I've seen SaaS applications on LinkedIn that do only this, which are basically estimation project forms or something like that, where a lead comes to your studio, they fill out a form, they answer a few questions, and they get an estimate for their project. And most of the clients of that dude who has the SaaS application say that they saw an increase in leads, in lead inquiries, because people have a bit more transparency. So you can literally build this for your own studio or for your own digital business in a few minutes. Why not do it? The second example is more of a discovery call scheduler. So it is to get a bit more information about your client before the discovery call. Now, of course, you can do that with a simple form, but you can make it a bit more interactive. You can brand it with your brand's aesthetic and you can make it more high quality and high end for the lead, for the client. So it's literally like start an application. Our website is thinker.agency, right? What's the biggest frustration with your current setup? It doesn't really convert. What does success look like for this new site? Generate more qualified leads. What is your ideal customer? Let's say B2B, SaaS, applications. Beyond web design, what else do you need? Let's say we need some SEO strategy with that. And what is your allocated budget? 10 to 20K. We need it ASAP. And yes, I do make the last call. Now, it says here that we are a great fit. What you can do with this is you can literally have multiple filters. So based on the responses of your lead, if he actually is not qualified for you, if his budget is too low or the project is just too simple for you because you're a bigger studio, you can then redirect your lead to, I don't know, a partner of yours and you can get 20% of the referral for giving him a lead, so you can do a lot of things here. But if it is a great fit, of course, he can book a discovery call for you. You can embed whatever link you want. You see, it's really interactive. It's on brand. It looks really cool. Now, as you can see, these are really nice solutions. And I want to go a bit deeper into what is the opportunity in terms of all of these little solutions that you can spread across your whole workflow. So first of all, you have to ask yourself a question: what potential of your apps are actually using? I bet you most design studios and most digital businesses overall use a lot of tools and a lot of subscriptions. And most of them are not even used by like 50% of their capacity. They have all of these features and maybe you use 2 or 3 of them. It's not really worth it to pay all of this money every single month in order to use an app partially. So let's say, for example, you have Typeform for lead and qualification forms, right? $35 per month. You have Honeybook for client onboarding contracts. You have Notion Team for client portals, project tracking, Dubsado, Trustpilot for review, so on and so forth. Just with this stack, which is a fairly simple tech stack, mind you. This is $159 per month or $1,908 per year, which you could literally just replace with a few vibe coded apps of yourself. Now, the advantage here is, first of all, they are kind of free, right? You can literally host them locally for free, right? then you can customize them however you want. You can build whatever features you want, right? So it's really a win-win situation. Now, mind you, in some instances, you still want to go with these subscriptions that are trusted and they have been tested for a long time, but only if you actually use most of their features, right? So let's say Notion. For Notion, yeah, you might want to go with the app itself and not create yourself a project management / CRM app if you really want all of this customization and you want to be flexible with your app. But if you really just need like a simple CRM, you can vibe code it. You don't need a Notion subscription for that. Now, to go over some more solutions, let's say you are in stage 1, which are basically your lead arrives on your website. Now, most studios, most digital businesses would have a generic contact form. They gather name, email, message, submit, and then I need a website, what's the price, right? So basically, there's not a lot of context there because you don't want your lead to spend too much time on a simple form. It's not pleasant as a lead. And there's not really an impression made. Everybody uses tally forms or type forms, so it's really generic, right? So what you could build is an interactive project estimation tool. Like you can get the budget, the timeline, and the project type, and you can have a ballpark estimate delivered at the end. Just like the example that I showed you, it's much more interactive, it's much more aesthetic. The lead and the potential client is going to remember this experience. Also, let's say we go into stage 2, which is qualifies before the call. The second example that I showed you. Most studios have no pre-qualification process, which is actually a really big issue. The discovery call starts cold, and the first 10 minutes is just awkward time and budget talk. Therefore, bad fits slip through, 40% of calls waste everyone's time, and you show up uninformed, and they can really tell that. And you can literally change that so simply. You can build a short pre-call form with 4 questions on around 3 minutes, just like the example that I showed you, where you get budget, project type, timeline, past attempts, and the owner gets a full summary before the call. And basically every call starts informed. Bad fits filter themselves out early, just like the idea that I showed you with filtering. If it is not qualified for you, you can literally give him as a referral to one of your partners. Or you ask better questions because now you know more. If you go into stage 3, which is onboarding, you can create, again, an interactive app for that. Usually you would send a PDF or an email with all of the instructions. Onboarding would take 2 to 3 days. You can literally create an app which is branded, interactive, where they can drop you assets and links and so on and so forth. And the onboarding maybe takes 10-15 minutes. So cool, right? Stage 4 would be during the project. For instance, most studios do feedback over email, WhatsApp threads. Context gets lost usually and revisions multiply. Where are we at? Emails every week. It's a bit of a clusterfuck, a bit of too much confusion. But you could build a structured feedback tool tied to specific designs, milestone tracker clients that can check themselves, and sign off documents and timestamp. It's much more interactive. The experience is much more higher quality for the lead and the client. All of these solutions, by the way, are more on the client-facing side. You make that experience be premium, and they are going to, of course, then have the possibility of referring you further to some of their friends or some other potential clients that you can get. Stage 5, offboarding, the same thing. You can pause the video and just read this idea. And then basically the through line would be that you can build SaaS applications like vibe-coded apps across your whole workflow. From the moment your lead arrives, from the moment you qualify him, onboard, deliver, offboard, and also in between these, right? You just have to map your whole processes, see where you have bottlenecks, see where you can be more efficient, see where you have interactions with your client that can be a bit higher quality, and just build some solutions for them. This is a pretty simple way, in my opinion, to put yourself as a premium digital agency, premium digital studio, premium digital business, because of this whole interaction with your client. Because usually that's what premium feels like. What does the client journey actually look like? How does the client feel? And how fast everything moves. Let me show you exactly how I am starting one of these projects and how everything is basically going. Let's go over one of the examples in the beginning of the video, which is the estimator calculator, basically for leads, right? So the initial prompt looks something like this. You can see that I just literally used a speech to text tool and I just rambled about what the idea is and exactly what I want the AI to output. So it was not anything refined. It was not a custom prompt. It was literally me thinking about what I want to have and just spitting it out, right? So I want you to help me build a custom estimation tool that basically I can attach to my website. Let's say my Design Studio website, and people or leads can get project estimation based on the referencing for the projects, and so on and so forth. You can pause the video and just read it. The idea is that if you're just trying to test things out and build a really quick MVP, I wouldn't really bother building a first prompt that is like really structured and like really advanced, right? Just have a really clear idea on what you're trying to build, how it should look, how it should work, and just explain it in as much detail as possible to the AI. So this is where the Google AI Studio gave me a V1, premium dark mode design, AI estimation engine, structure results, call to action, right? The next step was, let's brainstorm a bit. How do we structure the solution so that we have an accurate estimation for the clients? Now we go a bit into the back end of the system, let's say, and basically the logic when it comes to creating accurate estimations for the leads. Now, here, as you can see, I just wanted to brainstorm with the AI. This is a tip for you if you are new to vibe coding. If you are not really sure about a specific feature for the solution that you are trying to build in terms of how it should work or how it should look, or even if you want any new features and you are not sure what features to build, you can just ask the AI to brainstorm with you. Always have a plan before executing something, right? Because therefore the output is going to be predictable and is going to be of a higher quality. So I asked him to brainstorm a bit on the logic of the estimation. He gave me a really cool answer with basically 3 options, and I chose one. Let's do the weekly sprint model, and yes, let's add more questions. Okay, he implemented it because he already knew what he had to build, which is really nice. And he told me what he changed: the new AI logic, dynamic cost calculation, expanded questionnaire, and updated results. Now we want the app to look as aesthetic as possible. And we want to do this because we want to impress a bit the client, the potential lead. Imagine using an application that is branded to the studio that you are trying to work with, or to the digital business that you are trying to work with. It gives you a sense of high quality, of luxury a bit, right? So for this specific step, I took a few screenshots of a design studio that I am working with. So one of my clients, shout out to Bandit Design Studio from Australia. And I basically tried to get some of the details of their aesthetic, meaning in the first image, I basically got the typography, right? Then in the second image, I wanted to capture a bit the aesthetic of the spacing and the raw feeling of the structuring in their pages. And in the third image, a bit of a carousel, and again, how squared everything is and how neatly everything is structured. Now, based on only these 3 images, the AI managed to give me such a really nice output, in my opinion, right? So yeah, you can give him even more, but I feel like 3 images are enough, right? Okay, then he implemented the design. He explained to me exactly what the new features are and how everything is looking. And the last step was, okay, let's make it actually functional. Whenever the lead ends the form and gets an estimation, he has a button with book a discovery. So let's make that button work. I went to Kel.com, you can use Calendly, whatever, and you can have an embedded a little code snippet that the application gives you. I just put it inside here and said, add this Kel.com embed when the lead clicks at the end, book discovery. And he just put this, and that's basically it. You can see that the app is actually working. It is not saving data yet. For this, I can just give it one more prompt. For instance, on the other example that I showed you with the Square Studio form qualification lead, we have here inside Notion a really simple database, and all of the answers are being stored here. So if we open one of the answers, you can see that this is the first question, second question, third, so on and so forth. So we can even store this fairly simply if you have something that has a database. So you can store it in Supabase, you can store it inside Notion, you can store it, I don't know, Monday.com, ClickUp, whatever other CRM you might be using. Okay, now going back to Google AI Studio, you can see that this one took around 5 prompts, and you have something that is working. This can take you around 10 to 15 minutes. Again, it's pretty rough. If you want to make it even more complex, I don't think it will take you more than an hour. right? And it's fairly easy to use. If you are new to vibe coding, I would suggest try to use Google AI Studio because it is very, very easy to use, very intuitive. You already have this split image where you can see the code and the prompts, and you can also see the output itself, which is being refreshed, which is really nice. Going back to the other solution, I just wanted to quickly show you that I personally had some difficulties with Notion in terms of implementing and connecting the Notion board, basically the database, to this specific application. It was on my end, I was kind of dumb there, but the idea was that if you're explaining your situation and what doesn't work really well to your AI, he can explain what the solutions could be, and he can help you really, really well. So you have literally no excuse to say, I am not technical enough. The AI can literally give you step-by-step solutions and step-by-step instructions on how to do a specific thing, how to connect a specific thing. So yeah, just trust the process. If you don't have knowledge into something, just ask the AI. He's going to give you all of the steps. And yeah, it's kind of sorted. Okay, I hope this video was helpful. I hope this video was concise enough. And I personally hope that I made you think a bit more about what you can build for your own business. You can see that it's really easy, it's really fast, it can save you a lot of money, so why not do it? It's just about how you structure everything, it's just about how clear of a picture you have over your whole workflow so that you can see all of these bottlenecks and all of these points where you can build these applications and solutions for. If you have any more questions, any more thoughts, put them down below in the comments. I am definitely going to read them. And until next, see you soon.